Also, everyone, this is Rishu, and actually, I'm in Vietnam right now, and I arrived here last month. And today, I'm gonna tell you about if you're planning to go to Vietnam, maybe what things you basically need. So, basically, you already know that what you need to go to Vietnam. If I tell you in brief, you basically need three things, which is you need a visa, and then you need to book a flight, and you might need some local currency, right? So we're going to talk about all these things, and maybe this video will help you to make things easier for you so you can travel and you know already, and you get a lot of information before you decide to travel to Vietnam. Anyway, Vietnam is a nice country. You should go and travel here. I've lived here for 2 years before, and this is my second time actually after COVID. So I'm working here as an English teacher, so I'm really enjoying it, and it's really fun here. Anyway, let's start. So let's talk about visa, right? Currently, I came here on a business visa, and the reason for that because, as I told, that I work here as an English teacher. So one of my English center, they actually sponsored me and they invited me for work. So it was kind of easy for me because I got sponsored by a company, and I came here on a 3 months visa, and after that I'm going to apply for a work permit. I have all the documents, so that's a different thing altogether. I mean, if we have planned to work in Vietnam as an English teacher, which is kind of really really popular job here, or if you can work as in different fields like marketing or IT, so you can contact an employer, and if you can get sponsored, you can come to Vietnam. But that's the thing, if you're looking to live in Vietnam for a long time and looking to work for a long time, right? But that's a different thing. So I'm going to talk about normal visa, how you can get the tourist visa. Now, as I can see, or I can check on the website, uh, right now at the moment there is only 1 month visa available, which is e-visa. Now I don't know about different nationality. I'm talking in terms of Indian. I'm from India, so basically I'm talking about people from India who wants to apply for a visa, tourist visa. Then there's only 1 month visa available right now, which you can apply online. There's a website. I'm going to give you official website for that. Just a moment. So let me check the website. The website is like evisa.xutanh.gov.vn. Right. So I'm going to put this website in the description. You can also see that on the screen. So you can actually go to this website and apply for a visa. Right. This is the official government website. So you should get the visa from this website only. And I don't know how much it costs. The visa costs around maybe $25 to $30 for 1 month. For other nationality, maybe the time period is longer, or the visa might cost more. So it depends, but you can apply from this website. There are also many agents' websites. You can also contact some agents, but I will recommend you to apply by yourself from this official website, because sometimes there are some kind of scammers you can find, and there's some fake agents who can actually scam you by taking money and not actually giving the proper visa, right? So you should apply through this website. So this is about the visa. You can apply for 1 month. Before, actually, when I was in Vietnam, there used to be 3 months visa, tourist visa, but I think after COVID they have kind of stopped issuing 3 months visa to everyone. The reason for that maybe because they want more and more tourists to come, and of course, now Vietnam is a really hot destination for tourists. A lot of people are actually coming here and traveling, so maybe they have changed the policy a bit. But I think even if you get a 1 month visa, you can get it, and you can also renew it. Renew it in the sense that you can actually get a new visa. So there are many uh, visa services. Basically, what you can do, you can go to other neighboring country, get a new visa, and come on the same day. So for that purpose, you can actually go to the nearby borders such as Laos or Cambodia. If you're in Hanoi, you can go to Laos. If you're in Ho Chi Minh, you can go to Cambodia. And there's so many bus services, actually. There's so many agents. They provide all the services. You basically book the bus, you go to the border, get the visa on the same day, and just return to Vietnam. So it basically takes a day if you want to renew or get a new visa. in the case that you've been planning to live in Vietnam and you want to travel more. But if you just coming for 1 month, that's enough. You just need to apply online. So basically, when you apply online, you don't get the visa immediately. You get the invitation letter from the immigration department, which means that you're allowed to enter Vietnam. After that, you need to so there are two ways. Once you get the invitation letter, there are two ways to get the visa. You can go to the Vietnamese embassy in your own country. So you go to Vietnamese embassy and you have to get stamped. It means you have to get your visa stamped on your passport. It means you got the visa. You don't have to do anything. Just book the flight, go to Vietnam, and that's all. Just show the visa, and you just enter Vietnam. So it's so easy. Another way is to get the visa on arrival. Once you get the invitation letter, so basically you need to go to Vietnam, and then you have to basically go to the immigration department. I mean, which when you arrive at the airport in Vietnam, you go to the immigration department, and you get the visa stamped, and you have to basically pay $25 fee for visa, right? So you have to pay $25. If it's a multiple entry visa, means if you are allowed to enter or exit multiple times, then you have to pay $50 fee as a to get the visa, right? It keeps changing. I mean, it varies, but as far as I know, $25 for single entry visa and $50 for multiple entry visa for 1 month. It doesn't matter whether it's a month or a 3 month long. I think the visa fee is same, and this is for visa on arrival. But if you get in your own country through Vietnamese embassy, then maybe the fee might be different or the same. I'm not sure about that, but maybe it will make your life easier, especially if you have some parents or say some older people or people who don't speak much English. It's actually the best option for them to get the visa from Vietnamese embassy in their own country, because what happens sometimes that when you go to the immigration department to get the visa on arrival, sometimes they ask you a lot of questions, and then there might be a little bit confusion if the person is not much familiar with all the process and immigration, and if he doesn't know much English, then he might be a little bit of be in a soup, right? So for that purpose, I would say that you get the visa from the embassy. But if you are a young person, you keep traveling, it's not a problem. I mean, getting the visa on arrival is so easy. So you don't have to actually worry about visa. And there are a lot of actually tourists traveling from different countries, right? So this is about the visa, right? So if you want to get the visa, it's so easy. You can just apply through the website, and I think just basic information you have to fill. I don't need to tell that what information you need to fill, right? I guess you already know about all these things. So basically, you can figure it out by yourself, right? Okay, another thing. Once you get the visa, not visa, you get the invitation letter, and then you get the visa later. But of course, invitation letter means is the confirmation that you can enter, means you can get the visa now. It's up to you, right? And there's a date that is mentioned that from this date until this date you can stay in Vietnam, means you can enter on this date or later, or you have to exit before this date, right? So after getting the visa, then next thing you have to do is to book a flight, right? Which is very important. So now from different countries there might be different flights from different companies and all different airlines. As I can see, actually from India, there have been many direct flights nowadays, because there have been many tourists who have been traveling from India to Vietnam. So Vietjet is one of the airlines which is pretty famous, and it's actually really cheap. If you are someone who is kind of budget traveler who want to book cheap flight, Vietjet is one of the flights that you can actually book, and it's not too expensive. I mean, I think when I booked Vietjet flight, it cost me around, I would say, around $200 maybe, or $200 or less one way, right? So it's really cheap. Of course, it's not the luxurious kind of flight. It's just the okay flight. But I mean, if you're a budget traveler, it will be okay for you. You don't have to worry. Just book the flight. It's so cheap, and it keeps going back and forth from one destination to Vietnam, right? So maybe for your other country, you can actually check other airlines. So they are like Vietjet, Indigo from India, actually, Thai Smile. So these kind of websites, or sorry, these kind of airlines are really famous. Or you can check some agent websites or third-party services. For example, Skyscanner or Make My Trip. So these are some agent or third-party application or website through which you can actually search about the flight, and they're gonna recommend you the cheaper flight as per your convenience, right? So you can check these services as well. It will make your life a bit easier, right? So you can book those flights easily. It's not a big deal, right? So first thing of all, you need to get the visa first. First thing, you get the invitation letter, then only you book the flight. Don't book the flight before getting the invitation letter, because I'm not saying that it will happen, but sometime in case if you don't get the invitation letter for some reason, right? So you not sure when you can travel, or you're not sure about the date. But once you get the invitation letter, you are sure about which date you're gonna travel. So you need to get the visa first before you start to book your flight, right? And apart from that, what you need, so basically you need to book a flight back and forth, means you have to book a return flight as well, especially if you are on a tourist visa, right? Because on the immigration they might ask you to show the return ticket, which is pretty important, right? So you need to book flight from your country to Vietnam and Vietnam to your country, like return flight. If you don't want to book return flight, there's so many ways or websites through which you can actually create a dummy ticket, or you can actually book a dummy flight, which costs around, let's say, $20 to $50 or less. There are so many websites you can search for it, but I don't really recommend doing that. I mean, unless you have been planning to stay in Vietnam for a long time. But if your purpose is just to travel, you should actually book the return ticket properly, right? So you need a return flight, and then you might need a hotel booking. Although they never, I've been to Vietnam many times, and they never ask you about the hotel booking or your accommodation. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. Even if you don't book any hotel, that's all right. They're not going to ask you for anything. They're just going to ask you for the return ticket, which is important. And another thing for now, because as you know that there are some restrictions because of COVID, although now all the restrictions have been lifted in Vietnam now. So actually, it's easy to travel. It's easy to come right now in Vietnam. And if you're not vaccinated, maybe you should be vaccinated. I mean, when I came here, they never asked me if I was vaccinated or not, but you should get the vaccination certificate, right? If you're vaccinated, make sure that you have the vaccination certificate so you can actually show on the immigration in case they ask, right? Because this is one of the requirements. So you need to have a vaccination certificate. If you don't have, maybe they might ask you for a PCR test, which was done within 72 hours or something, right? So you can check actually the regulation. I'm not sure they keep changing the regulations. When I arrived last month, this was the case that I needed to show vaccination certificate. This was the requirement, but actually they didn't ask me for that. They just asked me for for the visa to show the invitation letter, basically. And I had a business visa, so basically they didn't even ask me for the return flight because I was basically going for work. But for a tourist visa, they might ask you to show you the return ticket, and that's all you need, right? Okay, this is about the flight booking. Now let's go talk about currency exchange. So this is pretty important because when you travel to other country, you need to get the local currency. Now, the currency people use here is called Vietnamese dong, which is VND, and so basically, there are different ways to get the Vietnamese dong from your own country before you start to travel. So basically, first thing is you can go to some nearest Western Union branches or bank. They have all the branches on all over the world. So basically, you can check the nearest Western Union branch. You can go there and you can exchange your currency into VND. There are also other websites or agents in India. There's Book My Forex, which is a popular website, and they actually deliver everything at your doorstep. Means when you order online, and they're gonna deliver your currency at the doorstep. So it's so convenient for us. And there are so many agents who can do it for you. So you need to actually check the exchange rate. Whoever is providing you the best rate, you can go with that. Well, I think Western Union Bank is one of the reliable, and they provide good rate as well. So you should go with that if you can find that. Otherwise, you can check other websites or agent. Okay, I will recommend you not to change your currency into BND. Instead, you change into USD, because mostly we don't get the good rate when we exchange your our currency into BND, because BND is not a popular currency. Not a lot of people actually buy it. So basically, the rate is quite low. So I think you should get USD first, and then when you come to Vietnam, you can actually exchange USD into VND, and you're gonna get the good rate. You're gonna get a better rate than from your currency directly into VND. So basically, get some USD from your country, travel to Vietnam, and actually, of course, at the airport, you can also give $25, $50 visa fee. So you can actually give them USD. You don't need to give the local currency that is VND. The USD will do for you. And once you are out from the airport, uh, just go to a local jewelry shop or go to some local store in Vietnam, and they're going to give you a really great rate to exchange your currency. Don't exchange currency at the airport. The rate is really low, so you don't have to do that. Avoid airport exchange at any cost. Like avoid it all, because they're not gonna give you a good rate, right? So basically, find a jewelry store. I actually exchanged my USD from a jewelry store. They provided me a really great rate, and apart from that, you can find some local stores, or ask some local person. Maybe they're gonna, or he or she gonna guide you for that. But if you actually need some money in case of emergency, for example, if you're at the airport and you need to book a taxi or book a bus and you need local currency, maybe you can exchange a little bit of currency at the airport, say for $10 or $15, and that's enough for you just to reach your destination. And when you arrived at your destination, then you can find a local store, jewelry store, and you can actually exchange easily. So that's my recommendation for you. You should always get USD and try to change USD into Vietnamese dong from Vietnam. I mean, in Vietnam, change it is better for you. But this is about the currency exchange. Also, there are so many ATMs. So you can also withdraw cash from ATM. So it depends upon what service charge you have to pay, depending upon your individual bank. I would say that rather than exchanging it from the airport, you can actually withdraw some money from ATM. I think it's gonna be the same, or maybe it's gonna be a bit cheaper, because service charge is not too high. At least for me, I don't know about different people from different banks. For my bank, if I had to withdraw some money, it didn't charge me a lot. I mean, the service charge is not too much. So, but I didn't need to actually withdraw any money. But you can also use this option. There are some ATMs at the airport. So once you arrive in Vietnam, you can actually find some ATMs and you can withdraw money, and you're gonna get the local currency. So it's also good. But yeah, there is some kind of limitation, I guess. You can only withdraw uh, 50 to 100 USD or 200. I'm not sure about it. You need to check from your individual bank. So there is a limitation. You can't withdraw a lot of money. You basically have some limit, but that will be enough for you to just reach your destination. Later on, you can actually exchange from some local store. Right? This is about currency exchange, right? So I guess I covered everything. I talked about the visa thing, the flight booking, and the currency exchange. And this is what you need. You don't need anything else, right? And other important things I should tell you that once you in Vietnam, you can actually use some services to book a bike or taxi. So I would say that don't get a private taxi because it's really expensive. You should download some application to book a taxi or a bike. There are some famous applications like B or Grab and so on. So there's so many taxis. I'm gonna show you the image here, right? You can download the application from your mobile phone from Play Store. and you can actually book a taxi. So it's actually gonna cost cheaper than the private taxi if you ask for that from someone, right? And for if we talk about food, you can eat at some diners. So there's so many diners at every place, at every corner in Vietnam. So one of the famous dishes in Vietnam is pho. And then I love banh mi. Banh mi is like a kind of bread, and we have fried rice or platter. Platter is a kind of pretty famous. Like platter is like a big platter where there are some different dishes such as chicken, rice, some vegetables, a pork, or whatever, right? So this is actually pretty famous for foreigner. They love to eat that platter because it has all different dishes. You can actually choose different dishes, and it's also very cheap. So you can try that as well. Um, if you are a vegetarian, then you're gonna have a hard time here because mostly you're gonna find meat here. So it's gonna be really difficult if you're vegetarian and difficult for you to survive. So if you're eating meat, then it's good for you. You can find it everywhere. Even it's quite difficult for me because I don't eat all kinds of meat. I usually prefer chicken or fish, and I can eat tofu or eggs. I don't eat pork or seafood or beef, so sometimes I also find it difficult, but it's still okay for me. I can manage with chicken and eggs, so I can still manage. But for a vegetarian or vegan person, gonna be really difficult. You have to think some alternative option for yourself, right? Finally, one important thing, of course, if you've been coming to Vietnam and if you're alone, you're traveling alone, a lot of people actually come here to find some local people, meet them or date them. I'm going to tell you some applications which are pretty useful if you're looking to date or if you're interested in dating. There's some application like Badu, Tinder, OkCupid. These applications are really famous just to meet some local people or if you want to date someone. But this, I mean, I'm not encouraging you to do that, but this is something which might be a question for you. You might have this question in your mind that is it possible? Yes, it's possible, right? You can use this application and you can do that. uh, and good luck if you're white. Good luck finding some match. If you're not, maybe gonna be a hard time. That's the reality. Okay, so I'm not a racist, but this is a reality. Uh, and last thing I would say, it's a totally safe country, and I think it's worth visiting at once. I mean, even if you are a girl, it's really safe, and people travel here alone. I've traveled here a lot of places. Of course, I'm a boy, so I don't have to worry. But I'm talking especially for girls. If they want to travel alone or with their partner, it's a pretty safe country. Of course, be cautious when you go to different places. You need to be cautious, but it's nothing like that. If you go out, something gonna happen to you. It's totally safe, so you don't have to worry at all, right? So I would recommend you to come here, Vietnam. Vietnam is getting popular nowadays in Asia. Before in Asia, when we talked about Asian countries, Thailand or Philippines, these countries were actually famous. But Vietnam is getting popular nowadays for tourists, and actually from India, a lot of people, a lot of tourists traveling to Vietnam as well. So it's a nice country. You should travel once, right? I hope I covered all the information. And if you have any other question, you can actually just comment or send me an email or WhatsApp me. I have all the information in the description, so I can guide you if I can, and I can help you with other things. All right, that's all. Thanks for watching. Adios. Goodbye.